All right, hello everybody. It's so glad to be here with you today and this evening for our online Teams meeting open house. And people will still be popping in, I'm sure. So we will allow them to come in and we will get started. I will ask you to keep your microphones muted because the sound can get really crazy if everybody has their microphones on. I learned that last year with a lot of online teaching. So that will really help matters a lot. Also, if you have questions as we go through our document today that we're going to share, if you could type those into the chat room, if you can find the chat room and just type those in, that will also be recorded so I can address those either at the end of this meeting or in an email directly to you. If you don't want to ask any questions live and during the meeting, then you can, of course, email me and I will be more than happy to answer whatever the questions are. So let's see how many people we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's fantastic. Well, let me get started. I am Mr. Bagby, Michael Bagby, and I have been a teacher at Ridgecrest Elementary in the gifted program since 2005 and a proud member of the faculty since then. I have been teaching for a long time. This is my 37th year of teaching and almost all exclusively elementary school. So I started teaching in Cincinnati, Ohio back in the 1980s in 1983, and I moved down here in 2005 and was lucky enough to become a part of the gifted program here at Ridgecrest Elementary, a program that I have been mighty proud of since the start and all the way up to the present. So this is your child's third grade year, a very, very important year. It's certainly a transition year in more ways than just academically. And what you see in the growth of the children is away from completely feeling like they're the center of everything to really realizing that they're part of a community. You know, kindergartners in first grade, we expect them to feel like they're the center of everything because aren't they? They are indeed. But when they get into end of second grade, third grade, we start expecting them to be able to get along a little better, how to work collaboratively and cooperatively with each other. And that's one of our major goals as we go through the year, because in the gifted program, group work and teamwork is absolutely essential to the goals that we want to achieve. And that's true through fourth grade, fifth grade. And when they go into the middle school, if you are aware of the middle school programs in the district and the different schools that they can attend in the gifted program, you will know that they work in teams on projects throughout the entire year. So we really do emphasize that. And I wanted you to know that your child will be expected to do the same and do their fair share in the cooperative and collaborative work that I have planned for them. Also, all subjects will be in my classroom. It is a self-contained classroom. We are not teaming. And ELA and science and social studies and math is all part of my job this year to make sure that your child is fully ready to enter fourth grade and all of those content areas. Also, if your child is at a particular place in their content area, say they're further advanced in math than some other children, then one of the key components of the program is to allow them to advance further. And we'll get into that information in just a little bit with the extra programs that have been made available through Clever on the Pinellas County School Board website. You go to the Clever page and there's all kinds of programs there that allow them to do that on their own, not just in the classroom. So I'm going to jump into the document that I prepared and we're going to scroll through it. I had the picture up earlier, so we'll start off there. Let me share that screen. And actually, we got people still popping in, so let me get those people in here before I start that. So hold on just a second. we go. And pull this up. And there you go. I'm now sharing the screen, and that's right outside of our doorway. Mrs. Hall, our media center person, was able to create those cute little cars, and they're absolutely adorable. And I was very happy with the results. And I took 2 pictures of them, and they were able to choose which picture they wanted, either their normal smiling face or a silly face. And some of them decided to go with their silly face. And I just think they're really cool looking. So really enjoy that. I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. Ready to roll, and indeed they are. I've had just an unbelievably great time with the crew over the last, wow, time goes by so quickly. You wait and it seems like it's forever before the school year starts, and then boom, you're in it, and before you know it, it's October. But they have been quite a group of scholars and students, and we've really come far already in learning how to work together on projects and follow the protocol and the guidelines of the classroom. So I'm very happy with the group of kids. Ridgecrest Elementary virtual open house gifted program 3rd grade today, September 1st, 2021. And Mr. B, you can call me Mr. B. It's easier for a lot of the kids. In my career, I've been Bag of Beans, Baggy, Magby, Magpie, Bagby, you name it, all kinds of iterations on the name. So Mr. B is easier. And the theme this year at Ridgecrest Elementary is We Rise Together. And I think this is, if you haven't seen the t-shirt yet, of all the designs that I've gotten in t-shirts from the school, I think this one is the best. It's just a really beautiful t-shirt, and the theme of it and the fact that we're all together, all different kinds of people rising together through the school year and through all that we have been going through for the past 18 months. It's been quite a ride. So let's get started right here with the Canvas page. And again, if you just came in, if you could mute your microphone, that would be great. If you do have a question, you can type that question. If you have access to the chat room, and that part will also be recorded so that I can go back and look at those questions. Plus, I'll look back at them towards the end of the meeting. If you don't want to type your questions in there, feel free to email me, and my email is right on the Canvas page, bagbm@pcsb.org. So on Canvas, when you go into the PCSB site, you sign in your child's username and password. If they do use their own computer, the laptop that we have issued to them, then that will get them in right away. Click on Clever, and then they click on Canvas. And when you do that, you click on the Mr. Bagby page, and there will be a weekly and daily update to our class and what's going on. Plus, there will be resource files, and eventually there's going to be modules set up in there for the different activities that we've been doing. The Canvas page will be a great place for students that say miss a day or miss a few days or out for a little while, because everything will be there for them to catch up on and to see what the classroom has been doing, so they won't fall too far behind. Because with everything that's going on, you know, we're very aware that kids can sometimes be out for 5 or 6 days. It's a great resource for communication all year long, and I keep it updated. And you can also email me through Canvas, like some of you have been doing. The Clever site, oh, we've got another person that popped in, so let me go back here and make sure they can come in. It's Silas. Here he comes. All right. I get a little beeping noise when somebody pops in, so I know to do and go let them in. Classroom behavior system, as the school has been doing the last 3 years, we use a system which is called AVID and a system which is called PAUSE. And we use those in conjunction with each other. Our school and each classroom use these 2 tools to motivate children to be the best they can be. Individual students earn stickers throughout the month to qualify for the monthly AVID Jam, which is coming up this Friday. And the overall classroom behavior in my room earns pause. And I think that's a really great combination because, everybody has memories of sometimes the whole classroom doesn't get something because one or two people mess it up for everybody. Well, you earn your own separate system with the stickers because of your own personal effort. But when the classroom really works well together and everybody is 100% in and working together, then they earn pause based upon, like I said, their collaborative work, their behavior, how well they're following the protocol, how well they're treating each other, how respectful they are to each other. So we encourage it both ways, individual behavior and performance, and then group behavior and performance, because frankly, that's how we operate in the world. We expect rewards and awards for our personal striving, but we also know that we have to work well together with other people. For every 25 pause, we earn a class reward, and we just achieved that today. So the classroom will be receiving an award for the hard work that they've been doing so far and getting along with each other. Looks like we have some people waiting in the lobby, so let me go check them out. Make sure everybody's in. Everybody's in. Good. So PAWS stands for practice respect, act responsibly, work together, and stay safe. Nice little acronym that they remember and have memorized. But above and beyond the stickers and the PAWS, which are really cool things that we use, the real goal is for them to internalize habits of behavior that are not dependent upon awards and rewards, but are dependent upon their own good feeling about themselves, and to realize that the way they act towards other people and the way they act and collaborate with each other is really reward in and of itself, because you get more done, you're proud of your work, you're proud of how you've worked together and the product that your group has created. So that is always my goal, to get them beyond just wanting a sticker or a paw, which is fine, to getting that feeling that I really did a great job here. We also emphasize a character quality every month. Kindness, optimism, gratitude, trustworthiness, integrity, acceptance, peace, perseverance, and individuality. And that is a wonderful list for the kids to focus on through the school year. And we have a book per month that we read together. This week it's a beautiful picture book. The name escapes me right now, but we will be reading that together. And then we'll have another book to read through about optimism, and then the rest of our character qualities. Because education and public school education certainly is more than just the academics. It is learning those social skills, learning social interaction, how to depend upon other people, how to be a leader, how to be a follower, how to be a speaker, how to be a listener. And we will work through all of those character traits and emphasize them in the sense of how they will help them in their life. Now, I could have shortened what the class came up with, and I was really tempted to. But we sat down over the course of the first 3 days of school, that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the kids generated every single one of these, except for a few that I added because I'm the teacher and I felt that they were necessary to be in there. So these are student-created classroom guidelines. And if you read through those, they're really very impressive. And I have been aware for a long time as a teacher that the vast majority of kids really do know by second, third, fourth, fifth grade how to act, acceptable behavior. They just need to be reminded. They need to have good role models. They need people that can shape and be attuned to what's blocking them from being nice or being polite or being there for each other. But some of these they came up with, don't be greedy, be there for each other. Just really were so impressive. Reach out and include others. I was really happy to write that one down and make that part of the flow. Sorry about that. So those are our classroom guidelines, and they really, to sum it up, it's all about respect, self-respect, and respecting other people, and believing that you are part of a group and that your behavior affects the whole group, and it's not just an individual thing or the teacher saying, you're bad, you're good, you do what I tell you to do. It's really about this is what we can accomplish together. And that's what I've developed through my career as a teacher. Um, and to me, that really is far more effective than just having some threat hanging over their head that they're going to get in trouble. Of course, we all do know that we need that. Otherwise, there wouldn't be police officers on the road with their cars to pull people over when they're doing things they shouldn't do on the road. We'd all like to think that we would drive safely, but if we knew they weren't there, I don't know about that. So we do need both sides of the idea that people should do what they should do because it's good for them, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you just might get in trouble. So I have this color coded here for school supplies, classroom books, and take-home laptops. Thank you so much for the supplies that came in. We have plenty of notebook paper, plenty of computer paper and pencils. We could use some more colored pencils, markers, and crayons because, like I said, when the kids do projects together, often they have large posters that they're working on. And they're using their creativity, their artistic ability to create things for science, for math, for book reports and things like that. So we could use some more color pencils, markers, and crayons. The classroom does have a really good supply of fiction and nonfiction, but it certainly is not an exhaustive supply. We don't have all the books your child would want to read. So I highly recommend that if you can visit the library on occasion and get a library card, that's a great way to get a fresh supply of books. I'll be going to the library myself to get my first collection for some of our first units. And the students can check out those books, even the ones I get from the library, out, as long as they remember to return them to the classroom so I can take them back to the library when we are finished with them. One of the best things about this school year, other than just having your kids in my classroom and getting to know them and their personalities and the way they're learning how to work together, is the fact that we have these brand new laptops. So the students have returned their permission slips, and that is fantastic. But I must emphasize that make sure that if the laptop goes home, that it comes back the next day, because it might be a day we absolutely have to have that laptop for them to do activities or iStation or Dreambox or other kinds of tests and assessments that we're doing. So just make sure those come back, and just take good care of them. Treat them gently. Keep food and drinks and everything away from them. Because I do that in the classroom too, because since the kids can bring in their water bottles, and that's something that I need to mention with the water bottles, that's very essential because we have almost every water fountain in the schoolroom has been turned off due to the pandemic and COVID and for safety protocol. So it's pretty important for them to bring in some water so they can stay hydrated. But we keep those on the floor because for some reason, third graders tend to spill water. I know it's shocking to believe that, but that water can go everywhere, and it can get over, spill over people's composition journals or something they've been working on, or right over the laptop and the keyboard and, do ghastly things to it. So we keep the water on the floor. One of the things that we do kind of need, we have a recess every day, and today was an indoor recess because of all the rain. We have a limited supply of soccer balls, kickballs, footballs for outdoor recess. So we really could use those if there's anyone willing to donate some of those. We don't need a whole ton of them. We just need, like 3 or 4 different things. A couple soccer balls, couple kickballs, couple footballs, and other things that would be appropriate for outdoor play. There are 3 teachers outside during that recess, so your children are observed constantly through the recess time, because recess can be fraught with danger and accidents, and people sometimes, getting a little too rambunctious and going a little overboard with their physicality or tackling or things like that. So we're all out there and we are carefully observing them and watching them for the 20 minutes they're on recess. When we do have indoor recess, we could use some board games. If you have, and I'm not saying anybody needs to go out and buy a bunch of board games for us, but we really could use the simple games like Sorry and Clue, Battleship, games that kids can learn and play together and that we can use again and again. If you have any of those that are gently used, the kids would really enjoy those, especially checkers and chess. There'll be a chess club starting up. Hopefully sometime we can have that. So that's available. And again, I will remind you, if you do have a question about anything that I'm talking about or mentioning, feel free to type it into the chat room and feel free to email me if I don't answer it here. And at the end of the meeting, towards the end, I will allow you to unmute your microphones and we'll try to get one person talking at a time. Online last year, sometimes it was a real learning experience of having everybody know when they should talk and when they shouldn't talk. So we'll try to keep that under control. The academics of their school day. Each day begins with directly teaching and practicing thinking skills through a variety of activities geared specifically for gifted students, and it's called the Gifted Block. So the kids come in at, they can come in at 8:15, pick up a breakfast, and come directly to the classroom, and they can sit there and eat their breakfast and talk quietly until 8:35. And then the guidelines in my classroom is for everybody to calm down at that time, get their books out, make sure everything's ready, throw away their breakfast, and if they haven't finished, to hurry up and finish their breakfast and then throw away the waste and clean up around themselves. And then at 8:45, the school day begins. Now, the classroom, if your kids have been talking about the classroom, I don't know what that's like sometimes. It's, what did you do today? Nothing. Who did you see? Nobody. Where'd you go? What you do? Nothing. So in the packet that came home today is a really amazing list of things that you can do to ask your children what they're doing through the day. So it was a large envelope and it had directions about the meeting tonight and the open house meeting, but it also has cards in there that give you little prompts of how to ask your kids what they're actually doing in school, creative ways to ask that. So at 8:45 it starts, and we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We all have somebody lead the pledge, and then we launch right into Gifted Block. And through the Gifted program in the district, with our leader, Coral Marsh, they have designed a full year's worth of curriculum for that first time period of the day, from 8:45 till we go to specials at 9:40. And the first 3 days were all about leadership roles and things that I've already discussed, how we created our classroom guidelines. But now we're knee deep in ancient Egypt, and the kids are having a lot of fun with that. And they were molding some sphinxes today out of clay. So I'll take a picture of that and put it on Canvas so you can see that. So that's a really exciting way to start the day. And when at 9:40, they go to their specials, and they have art on Monday, and they have music on Friday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they go out for PE, or like today, they went to Wigfall Hall because of all the rain. When they come back, we have our ELA block, which goes almost all the way till lunch, which is at 12:15. And that involves reading, writing, grammar, punctuation, spelling and vocabulary, and speaking. And I do include speaking in there for a reason which I will get to. But the goal, there really can be no academic learning without a child being an effective reader and understanding what they're reading, and then really challenging themselves to read harder and harder bits of fiction and nonfiction. And their reading that they do by themselves is extremely important when we have our silent reading time. And they always have to make sure that they have a fiction book and a nonfiction book so they can go back and forth, because I think it's very important for them to learn how to not only read stories that they like, but to read nonfiction books about topics that they enjoy or topics that they want to learn about. And I have lots of nonfiction, great nonfiction books in the classroom that they can use and read and take home and bring back to school. Now, in the part of the classroom during the reading time, which we do together, we do class novels together. And presently we're doing If Not for Winn-Dixie. And we gather together and we read that book together and we talk about it. And we go really into depth about the character development, characteristics of people, how characters change, how important the setting is to the story, how a plot gets developed, and how problems are introduced that a character has to work through. And we delve deep into those questions, and the kids are amazingly perceptive about connecting those characters when you ask questions in a Socratic way, where you're not asking them for a specific answer, you're asking them to come up with a concept or an idea of why that character is doing what they're doing. So we really delve deep, and we also delve deep into nonfiction and the characteristics of nonfiction throughout the year. Writing is it's a tough thing for a lot of kids. Some kids are naturals at it. They just love to do it, and they've loved to do it since the start that they could make their first letters. But I would have to say that that is the minority of kids, even gifted kids in a gifted population. So writing can be a real struggle, especially if their handwriting is not legible or clear. It's frustrating to them because they know it's not legible and clear. So we will be working on making sure that what they're writing and how they're producing that writing is something that other people can read. So we will be doing some handwriting practice. I will be introducing some cursive writing practice a little bit later in the year so they can get a hang of that. That won't be a major part of the curriculum, but I will introduce it for those that really want to pursue it. Also, they will have the chance and ability to type and learn how to type on their keyboard to produce writing. The key part of writing is learning what quality sentences are like. So I jump in right away at the beginning of the year to make sure that they know what a declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory sentence is. And then we go into what a simple sentence is, a compound sentence is, and then I introduce them to things called subordinating conjunctions. Now I do grammar. When I was growing up, grammar was a wicked tool that came down on our heads with a great big red pen that slathered across our pages telling us how bad of writers we were, and somehow we made it through and learned how to write. I like to teach grammar in a way that makes them feel like it's a tool for them, not a punishing instrument to say, shame on you, you put your comma in the wrong place. But why that comma needs to be there, and why good grammar does make your writing more effective. So writing quality sentences, organizing those into paragraphs, and then being able to connect those paragraphs into an essay or a story, that is the overreaching goal of the writing part of ELA, and absolutely essential for them to at least accomplish at a level that we can say there are distinct paragraphs here, they are connected, and they are making a point or telling a story. We also apply the rules of punctuation and grammar for effective communication. We will be starting spelling and vocabulary very soon, where they can build their own vocabulary. And nothing builds knowledge and ability to think better than learning new words, because the more words you have at your disposal, the better you can communicate what you're trying to say. We have dictionaries in the room that they can use, and of course, online dictionaries are easily available. I'm also a big believer in teaching kids how to speak in front of a group. So at the very beginning of the year, they had to do that. They had to go up in front of the group and deliver what the most important thing that we needed to know about them. And learning how to speak and to look up and to feel confident just how to stand and how to pronounce words correctly. It builds a lot of confidence, from my experience, when they can do that. And that's why a couple times a day we take a poem and we recite it. And you probably have heard them reciting The Tiger by William Blake, and they're learning The Village Blacksmith now. That doesn't take a lot of time. We just do it twice a day. It takes all of 5 minutes, and they memorize that poem in just 8 days, and they can recite it verbatim, and that just builds confidence. And reciting that and hearing other people say these really great words from the 1700s about a tiger, it really does something for their confidence in speaking. Science is absolutely a joy to learn about, because I love inspiring students and developing a lifelong love of how the universe works. It's not just about learning a bunch of facts. It's not just about learning a bunch of ideas. It's about connecting themselves to the world around them through scientific thinking, asking questions, developing hypotheses, testing them, and seeing if they're correct or not. And we will be doing lots of that throughout the year. Right now, we are studying light and refraction and reflection and stars and the sun. That's our first big unit. Eventually, we will have a science fair project, but for fun, I just love this science board right here. How much turmoil does the science project cause families? So it's a real science project there. So I will do my best not to drive you crazy about the science fair and give the kids options whether they want to do an individual one or if they want to work on one together with someone in the classroom. So when that comes around, do know that we will pave the way and have them create things that are doable and interesting and that drive interest towards coming up with a project that is fun to share and fun to look at. The kids coming into math are coming in at all different kinds of levels, as I alluded to earlier. And those that are really advanced right now, we have a program called Dreambox that is perfectly geared to allowing them to go as far as they want, all on their own, by achieving different lessons that are available in the Dreambox program on Clever. So I highly encourage that. They do have to do 10 different lessons each week. That is a requirement. So they will have to be on Dreambox to make sure that they achieve that. Now, since I mentioned that, I need to go back up here and remind you in reading. I don't know if I put that or not. I did not. iStation is an absolutely essential part of our reading program also. And the same thing there, the more they achieve in iStation in the reading program, the more interesting the articles and the stories are and the activities. So if they really, really try their best on the ISIP test, which is what they just took today, it's at the beginning of the month, then the program reacts and responds to them. It doesn't take everybody through the same paces. It takes them where they are and then takes them where they can go. And if they put in a lot of effort and do their number of minutes, then it gets more and more rewarding as they go. Plus, it teaches them how to read and gather information from stories and be able to take that information and answer questions about it. So that is an essential school tool and learning tool as they go up through their academic studies. Going back to math, basically we'll be covering these areas: number sense, and that's number lines, greater than, less than, basic ideas about place value. Looks like somebody's just popping in now. Okay, got them in there. And we'll be getting to, so we did place value already, the number line. Right now we're adding and subtracting with regrouping. And the way I was taught as a child at their age, I've shared this with them, is that we were just taught steps of how to do things. We never really were taught why you carry numbers, why you borrow numbers. What's that all about? We just were taught how to do it. It didn't make any sense to us, to me at least, back then. But now we really delve into why the numbers are doing what they do, why that place value system is so important. And that kind of thinking will go throughout the entire math program. And like I said, on Dreambox, they have the ability to march as far as they want right now. So we'll be going through all of these different areas, multiplying, dividing, basic fractions, measurement, geometry. But I like to do things like we did a thing with numbers at the beginning of our first math lesson, and we talked about millions and billions and trillions, and get them to realize that a trillion is not just a number with another zero on it. It really is an almost incomprehensible amount. So we're going to do an activity soon where we measure the room and we figure out how many grains of rice will fill the room and how heavy that would be to fill the entire room with grains of rice. And then they'll get an idea of what billion and trillion really mean. We will be using a district textbook, but we will also be utilizing a variety of other sources, hands-on material, real-world problem solving, and applying math to the world around them. In social studies, there's no social studies grade per se. It is wrapped up into the reading program and the gifted block, but it is part of our ELA and gifted block. So we will be delving into ancient Egypt, some U.S. history, civics, geography, economics, and how our government is set up. For our grades, they're updated in Portal, and in every content area of math, science, and ELA, it's separated into projects, standards knowledge, quizzes and tests, and weekly class and homework. So those will be getting full up in Portal as the days and weeks roll by. And finally, at the end of this, PTA had a meeting, and some of you might have been there, right before this meeting at 6:30. And one of the things that I am going to be part of in the PTA, because I'm one of the teachers that is going to be part of the PTA, is really pushing the reflections contest, I Will Change the World By. So be looking for information from that, and they can do dance, choreography, film production, literature, music composition, photography, visual arts, and we'll have abilities to record them if they want to make a recording of what they're doing. So I'm looking forward to that. So the other thing that's attached to this, if you're interested, we're certainly not going to read through this, but I will put up there the third grade standards for gifted, math, ELA, and science, and social studies, so that you can just read through them. It's not required, but some people really like to know exactly what is my child learning about and what is the teacher going to be doing over the course of the year. So those really go into detail, although we're not going to look at those presently. So stop that share there. Let me check the chat room and see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions over there. So it is 7:23. And if you want to unmute now, whoever speaks up first, we'll call on you. Any questions? I bet there's questions.
I've got a quick question.
Go ahead.
Janae's dad.
Hi.
Hey, I was wondering if there was any strategy or theory behind the seating assignments, why the girls all got grouped on one group and no boys there.
I group kids in a constant ongoing basis for around 3 weeks at a time. So this first setup, since there were only 4 girls in the room, I decided to put them together in their own little group. That will not stay a group. Believe me, the groups that I set up, they constantly are rearranged for different activities. So they sit at round tables, and I have 2 extra tables that they need to work by themselves. So there really was no thought behind that, except for I just thought it'd be nice for the girls to be together for the start of the year. But that's all that was behind that. But The reason why we put together kids the way we put together kids is usually based upon how the teacher feels that they will be the best unit to work together. And you get to know the kids after a couple weeks, so you kind of know what combination might not work real well. You know, the kid that you want to hang around with all the time might not be your best group member in a group to do projects, because you'll be interested in doing everything else other than the project because it's your best friend. So those kind of thoughts go into it. I hope that answered it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Sure.
How many students do you have in the gifted third grade this year?
Right now we have 15. We were up to 17, but a few did not come. And so we have room for 3 more. We usually have 18, and hopefully 3 more will come into the program, and we'll allow them to come in and be part of the classroom, and that'll be great. But right now we're at 15.
And then one more question for you. When are you changing the seating assignment? Because I know that my daughter Luca is out until after Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So have you guys made different seating arrangements while she's been away, or will that change again when it comes back?
No, we didn't make different seating arrangements for for 6 days. We actually had some students that were in another homeroom because we had to split up a homeroom, and we had 5 extra people in our room, so they had their own group separately, and they were part of our room for a little bit. But we will be changing groups after Labor Day. I really get to know the kids by then, or by, I pretty much know them pretty well right now. So I'll have new groups set up after Labor Day. I will say I do put a big emphasis on teacher directed instruction. And one of the things that comes up, which the kids know all about, we can have like a 20-minute period of silent reading or computer use, and no one goes to the restroom. No one has to go. Nobody. Until the teacher starts teaching. As soon as I start saying, come on up, kids, we're going to do a lesson together, suddenly 4 people have to go to the bathroom. So I really noticed that for years now. So I emphasize it. They always are allowed to go, but I certainly say, hey, listen, you just had 20 minutes to go to the bathroom, okay? Be aware of that time period. That's the time to go. So if you could just mention that to them, it really helps, because even when you're in the bathroom just for a few minutes and the teacher's trying to teach, they might miss something that's kind of important. And of course, teachers, they think whatever they're saying and teaching is important because it is, because it's the teacher saying it. So we do know that about ourselves, that we're dispensing information that we feel is essential for them to know and to learn and to listen to. But I do put a lot of emphasis on that. I am a word person. I am a very vocal person. I love to tell stories. I love to read out loud. I love to hear kids read out loud. And I love to talk back and forth with them, not just at them. We got a question from Kamoria. You can go ahead. It's got her hand up. Thank you for raising your hand.
You are very welcome. Hi there. I am Aleem's mom. I was just wondering about the homework. So is it only given once a week?
No. Homework is a process of increasing volume as we go, and it's always geared toward what we're doing in the classroom in terms of enrichment, not just what we like to call busy work. It's more of, okay, you're going to go home, you're going to think about this, and you're going to work on this. So expect the homework to increase as we go through the school year. I always like to just take my time, get to know the kids, get a feel for, what the classroom is like. And I really like this group. It's a great group of kids. So I really have confidence they're going to be able to handle the load, because since it's self-contained, I know exactly what they're getting from all the different projects. So I won't be loading up homework, for 2-3 hours a night by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of the work they can get finished in the classroom. Mr. Jeffrey.
Hey, good evening. Can the kids bring their own laptop, or do they have to use?
Okay, the sound was a bit muffled. I didn't hear you.
Can the kids bring their own laptop?
I don't believe so. You mean their own laptops from home? I will check on that, but I'm pretty sure that I know I have this problem. If I bring in my own laptop, I cannot connect with the district Wi-Fi. It will not connect me. It has to have something in the computer that I use that informs them that this is a district computer. So it really wouldn't be beneficial anyway, in terms of like using it online. So at this time we are at 7:30. I will take another question. I have, let's see, who is SF? That's the Small family.
Hi, this is Amber, Cameron's mom.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. So kind of along the lines of the homework question, as you know, we have to get all of our information through 8-year-olds. So and his handwriting isn't the best in the world. So I'm just trying to figure out, it would be nice to have like some sort of syllabus or something where I can rely on, that I'm not relying on him to tell me what his homework is and isn't, because sometimes he's clear and sometimes he's not. And so I want to make sure that he's doing what he should do. Is there a way to either check their agenda or something that I can do?
The best place to check is right on the Canvas page, and I think I'll just show that right now. I hope it's still up. Let's see. I don't know if it is or not. Nope, it's not. Let me try one more time. On the Canvas page, you should be able to see.
And I'm super behind, but is Canvas available in the Clever? Is there a link for it in Clever?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely. And there it is. Okay, there it is. So I update this every single day. This is the daily update. This is the official page. And I have, of course, the link for the meeting. And then I explain right there what we're doing for the week. So I've been doing that for the week, and what we'll be getting into very soon there will be files for all of these in Canvas that can be downloaded and used. Say if they forget to bring home their homework, it will be right on the Canvas page.
Okay, so this looks like what you're teaching in class. Is that
Yes.
also that he had something that he had to like copy down the other day, and I couldn't get it out of him? I finally figured out that he had something to
They
do.
just copied down some math problems, and like 5 math problems, and they just took them home. They were supposed to do it in both expanded form, where they were regrouping numbers, and then showing you could actually do it with the algorithm of borrowing and crossing out, etc.
Oh, that's what he meant then, because he was telling me about that today, and I was like, well, I didn't know that because I'm going off of what he says. So that's kind of my only question, is how can I make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing?
Okay, that will be on the Canvas page, and I will keep that updated every single day. Well, we are at 7:33, and if you do have more questions, feel free to email me. And I have a let's see, I'm going to stop recording this in a minute, and I will actually post a link to where if you wanted to watch this video again and watch the whole thing, you can. But I really thank everybody for being here, and I appreciate you being here. And again, our classroom is really gelled together, and there are a bunch of really sweet kids, and I'm already having a blast teaching them. But as they probably have related to you, I don't put up with nonsense. I just don't. So if I feel that they're, going off on a tangent and trying to distract people, I really have no patience for that whatsoever. And again, I try to redirect them in a way that makes them realize you're not in trouble if I move you. I'm trying to keep you from being in trouble, because I get really, you moved me. Well, I moved you so you would not get in trouble. So that's why I do that. So talking about grouping, sometimes I regroup kids immediately if I feel I need to. So I think we'll close the meeting down now. And again, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here. And please remember that communication is vital and important. And feel free to reach out with me. And I'll say one more thing. I am a dude. I'm a guy. And I'm not always sensitive to feelings. So I don't always know how a child is feeling if somebody's picking on them, if somebody is saying things to them, if the kid doesn't say that to me. So if the child comes home and is complaining about somebody bothering them, you have to let me know right away, because I don't always pick up on those signals. I just don't. I just know that about myself, and it's a self-honesty. But when you tell me and I'm aware of it, then I get to the bottom of it immediately. So just let me know right away if anything like that is happening in the classroom or in the lunchroom or on the PE field with other classrooms interacting with them, or on the recess field. Just let us know right away. So with that, I will say goodbye, and all of you that I see, the students, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya. I'm going to stop the recording and close the
Thank you.
meeting up.